And that gets into what you see here with Werner von Braun in his tombstone, where it has the Bible verse, Psalms 19:1, where the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Very interesting for a man that's head of rocketry when it comes to NASA basically from the inception. But again, for those that understand the whole concept of the firmament, this is the biblical cosmology here. As you can see, the firmament is the structure above the atmosphere, conceived as a vast solid dome, the biblical cosmology. Just like as you see here with the domed earth, and that's probably a better term than saying flat earth, because there's definitely peaks and valleys, but definitely there is a structure above us. This is why we have this pressurized system. And I find it very interesting, the concepts from NASA, just like the space shuttle called Atlantis, like we are within Atlantis. And this is again biblical, with all these Bible verses, as you can see here, pointing in that direction. If you're a Bible believer, the waters above, the waters below, the ends of the earth mentioned 50 times. Earth is immovable, mentioned several times, as you can see here. The sun, moon, and stars under the firmament, not outside, within the firmament. So people might say this is just a depiction, but this depiction matches our observed reality. As you can see here, the daytime moon, supposedly 238,000 miles in deep space. And again, you see it clearly with the blue sky in the back. This matches the biblical flat earth, where it states in the Bible, Genesis, in the very beginning, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. Planets are not mentioned. Planets are basically just wandering stars, again, within the firmament. And it also clearly states, and God set them in the firmament. So they're within the firmament. They're not outside projecting in. So I want to be very clear about this. So again, this matches our observed reality. So what the Bible says and what we observe go hand in hand clearly, as you see this aeroplane in the moon in the daytime sky. And that brings us to the sun. Clearly not 92 million miles away in deep space, in the vacuum, supposed vacuum of deep space. Clearly very, very close. This local sun. It's obvious for those that have eyes to see and that are not blinded by science. And that gets back to our enclosed system. And that gets into NASA once again with the Atlantis space shuttle, which in my estimation is, of course, truth in plain sight, living in this enclosed system. And you have this one shot from NASA itself of a space shuttle launch doing its arc. And of course, not going straight up. I understand what people are going to say that believe in the lies of science, that this is a low Earth orbit transition into so-called deep space, when literally nothing can breach God's firmament. And that gets back to these so-called launches by NASA and SpaceX. Again, getting back to these arcs, as you see with these launches. And of course, the bad stigma of the Bermuda Triangle itself. And this is where I believe they end up, in this region here in the Bermuda Triangle. Just another image of the same. So again, this is perfectly placed with all the launches that go off the coast of Florida. Again, it all adds up, all makes sense. Now getting back to this so-called space shuttle Atlantis, just take a look here at this, again, space shuttle, and look at these very small wings. You really believe, according to NASA, that these space shuttles go into space and come back with these little dinky wings and act as a glider? Absolutely not. These are airplanes disguised as space shuttles, 100%. And one thing I found interesting as well, with the whole Atlantis and other space shuttles, this one in particular, this one had exactly 33 missions. And of course, runway number 33 at the Kennedy Space Center. Give me a break. Again, this is all about Freemasonry. Hillary Clinton in her speech is talking about breaking the glass ceiling. A lot of people think, oh, that's just referring to women, achieving a certain level in society. No, there's dual meaning. These are Freemasons, and they always are about the duality aspect. The exoteric meaning, that's for the general public to believe. And the esoteric meaning, that's for those on the inside, those that are involved with the occult. And the occult means hidden or secret. And that's the whole, again, occult meaning behind breaking the glass ceiling. Now, one thing I want to focus on as well, as I shown before years ago, is hidden messages in TV shows and commercials. Specifically, I'm sure many have seen this already, with Homer Simpson breaking the glass ceiling, as you see here. And it's all symbolic, again, with the firmament above. I'm also going to play some new footage, one specifically, this one commercial from India with the game of cricket, again, breaking the glass ceiling. And also when it comes to Ichiro with baseball in Japan, the waters above. So without any further ado, let's get right to the video clips.
Security is going to be a very big factor with respect to space and space exploration. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space? We're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think. Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And it may be hard to see tonight, but we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now.
And it's true, today men and women don't share the field. But who knows about tomorrow? Because if the world needs to get equal, the bold need to get started. Everyone says this is a huge challenge. Of course it is. But you know what we say? Challenge accepted.
The pitcher, steroid Santa Claus, kicks and deals. It's a long fly ball going back. And the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
When a man reaches the edge, after he goes as far as any man can possibly go, how does his son continue?
Space, the final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
The stars, our only hope. Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be? Human action resounds in the heavens. The bell echoes above. What we decide here today will polish or crack the firmament. What shall it be?
from Black Ops that was released by PlayStation 4 just a couple years ago. Take a look at this scene. Unbelievable how they give us the truth in plain sight. And a lot of these fanboys with video games and NASA, they don't understand what's happening, what's right in front of their faces. Just take a look at here at the flat earth model in plain sight. And it's funny, underneath it says, "Yay, science." Take a look. Definitely 100%, as you can see, the sun and the moon flat earth model. And it says underneath here, the text acquired from the black market reserves. And again, yay, science. Just mockery. And this is basically biblical, hanging over nothing. And so, again, they give us the truth in these places, just like this one video game that's, I believe, currently being developed. I'm not sure when the exact release date is. And it's called Solar Warden. And again, the flat earth truth in plain sight. And you see it here with the, it says here, experience the truth of earth. And of course, the flat earth model again, the truth of earth, again, mockery. Now, I find this very interesting here, where they show the flat earth, and this is a misrepresentation. Anybody that knows anything about flat earth knows this is all we have. We basically just have the flat earth with a dome, and deep space is nothing but a hoax. All we have is inner space. And what I find interesting is the dragon itself. It reminds me of this one scene which I've covered before in a video from Star Trek The Next Generation. Let's take a listen to the dialogue that is said here.
The course in ancient history at Starfleet Academy about the time when men still believed the Earth was flat. And that the sun revolved around it? And that if a ship sailed too far out into the ocean, it would fall off the edge of the world? Beyond this place, there be dragons.
He says, beyond this place, there be dragons. And of course, it gets back to the scene here with the dragon. And as you've seen here, I just broke away from it momentarily. From the latest Star Trek series called Star Trek Picard, you see the breaking of the firmament, of course, mockery of God's firmament. And you see the star falling, the fallen stars, the fallen diamond from the sky. And it reminds me of this, of course, with Captain Picard. And again, the connection with flat earth. He mentions the flat earth. They talk about the flat earth. And I have no doubt whatsoever the name Picard, besides being 33 in numerology, it's spelled differently than this Picard. The scientist Picard, Dr. August Picard with the double C's from 1931 from Popular Science, where he mentions when he goes up 10 miles high and he sees a flat disc with an upturned edge. So definitely, the flat earth reference once again when it comes to the Star Trek episode with Captain Picard. No doubt whatsoever, the flat earth truth in plain sight, once again in the aspect of entertainment. Just like this scene I've covered before as well with this music video Korn. And just take a look here as you see the song called Coming Undone. And you see the firmament, the sky cracking, all in plain sight. Truth in plain sight. Once again, this is how they do it. Nothing's hidden in this world. They put the truth in plain sight.